vision and pay me. It's never this way. We indigenous, maybe we winning this crazy. Opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity. This your opportunity, your opportunity.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to EDI on the Street. Thanks for tuning in. We're here today to talk about something close to my heart, the evolution of EDI, especially over the last, say, 10 or 15 years. I've been in this world for about 15 years now here at GraceBlood, mostly on the marketing and client side of things. So I've seen the real world stuff, the wins, definitely the wins, but also, let's be honest, the headaches, trying to get different companies, different systems to actually talk to each other. It's those practical bits that fascinate me.
Absolutely, and I'm glad to be here. My perspective, also from GraceBlood, goes back a bit further, maybe over 25 years. I tend to look at it from a slightly higher level, more the strategic shifts, the big promises that new technologies make, the long-term trends shaping how businesses connect. For me, it's about that bigger picture. How do we innovate? How do we push things forward, but still maintain that core reliability, that fairness? It's crucial.
It really is. So where should we start? Maybe go back a decade or so. Yeah, let's rewind. Think back maybe 10, 15 years. There was this real buzz, wasn't there? A feeling that traditional EDI was, well, on its last legs. Yeah. Everyone was talking about XML. That was the new shiny object. The promise was huge. That XML would sort of democratize B2B integration, make it easy, accessible for everyone.
Oh, I remember those conversations so clearly. It felt like every other client meeting, someone would say, we're moving off EDI. It's all XML now. They'd say, it's human readable, it's simpler. They genuinely believed it was the key. But then they'd actually get a sample XML file from a partner, and suddenly it wasn't this clean, obvious thing they imagined. It was just a wall of tags. Okay, yeah, you can read the words, but self-describing, not really. It didn't magically make the underlying complexity disappear. It just felt like, a different format, but the same basic problem. You still had to agree on every little detail with every partner.
Exactly. You've hit the nail on the head. The whole idea behind XML, the theory, was found. Tags, attributes, structure. It all made sense on paper. The grand vision was this universal schema, one standard to rule them all, basically, make integration genuinely plug and play. Yeah. But it just didn't happen. There was a complete failure of governance. Nobody could agree. So instead of one standard, what did we get? 100. You had UBL, you had CXML for e-commerce, and then just tons of companies making up their own proprietary version. Complete chaos. A custom schema hell is what it turned into. You needed a specific custom translator for every single partner and their specific flavor of XML. It was the same integration challenge we always had, just wearing a different hat, different file extension, same old mapping headaches.
I remember one client, they were in the automotive sector, really smart engineering team, very capable, and they were absolutely convinced they could ditch their EDI provider, bring it all in-house with XML. They were so sure XML is the answer. So they started with one supplier, built a custom XML integration just for them. Took a fair bit of developer time, Then the next supplier comes along, and guess what? Totally different XML schema. Okay? So build another custom integration. Then a third supplier. Same story, another unique schema. Suddenly, their big simplification project. It wasn't simple at all. They had 3 separate custom XML projects chewing up developer resources like crazy.
That sounds painfully familiar, the hidden costs.
Exactly. The cost, the complexity, the drain. It was way more than they bargained for. It was only when we sat down and showed them, look, with EDI, using a platform like ours, you map your internal data once to the standard. Then you reuse those maps.
Right.
That's when the light bulb really went on, that aha moment. They realized EDI, the thing they were trying so hard to get away from, actually offered the standardization they needed.
It's a classic story from that era. The format wasn't the magic bullet. Without governance, without standards, you just trade one kind of complexity for another, often a more expensive kind.
So that was XML. What came next? Because the conversation definitely shifted again.
It certainly did. That brings us neatly to the next major phase, which is really where we are now. Wrestling with JSON, and crucially, APIs, application programming interfaces. And this wasn't just about changing the file format again, like going from EDI X12 to XML. This was, well, a different philosophy. We moved from thinking about batch files, sending a big chunk of orders overnight, to thinking about real-time events, things happening now.
Oh yeah, this is the big one. This dominates pretty much every client conversation I have today, especially with cloud platforms, SaaS solutions everywhere. Everyone wants immediacy. They need to check inventory right now. They need that order confirmation instantly. Shipping status, click a button, get the update.
Via a single call.
Exactly, a single API call. It's not a daily data dump anymore. It's like a continuous live conversation happening between systems. Think about online shopping. You click buy, you want tracking info right away. That's all driven by APIs interacting in real time.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And APIs are fantastic for that. They're fast, they're flexible, they became the darlings of integration for e-commerce, mobile apps, anything needing that instant response.
Right.
And here's the strategic challenge, the kind of lesson we're learning now. APIs are great for those one-to-one connections. Point A talks to point B. What happens when you're not connecting to one system, but to hundreds, thousands of trading partners?
Right. Scalability.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Each partner might have their own API endpoint, different security rules you need to follow, different versions of their API that you have to support. Suddenly, managing all those individual API connections becomes, well, a nightmare, a real logistical headache.
It sounds like XML schema hell all over again, just with API endpoints.
In a way, yes.
Yeah.
You can end up with this incredibly complex, tangled web, a spaghetti architecture of API calls flying everywhere.
Yeah.
It's brittle, it's hard to maintain, hard to secure.
The management overhead can sneak up on you.
It really can.
Yeah.
So while APIs give you speed for individual interactions, scaling that speed across a diverse partner network, that needs a proper strategy. It's not automatic.
We saw this play out recently, actually. A client using our platform, VelociLink, they're pretty tech-savvy. They were onboarding a new online vendor, smaller player, and this vendor said, look, we need your inventory updates hourly.
Common requirement for e-commerce.
Right. Now, this client was already sending out inventory info perfectly fine to their big retail partners using the standard EDI 846 transaction. Daily batch file worked great, but for this new nimble online partner, an hourly API call just made more sense for their system. It was more efficient for them.
Different needs, different solution.
Exactly. So what we needed to do was build this sort of intelligent layer in VelociLink. It takes the inventory data from their system just once, and then it decides, okay, for this big box retailer, generate an EDI 846 file. For this online partner, trigger this specific API call. Our job wasn't to say use EDI or use APIs. It was to build a system smart enough to speak both languages. Or any language needed, really. Protocol agnostic.
And that's the key insight, isn't it? It leads us to the core point, the fundamental truth about EDI's place in all this. EDI isn't just a technology. It's practically the origin story of business integration. Before EDI, systems didn't really talk. They shouted via fax machines or phones or people typing things in manually. So much room for error.
Oh, the swivel chair integration. Type it in here, turn, type it in there.
Exactly. EDI was the first time we actually created a common, standardized, machine-readable way for businesses to exchange critical documents like purchase orders, invoices, directly system to system. It literally laid the foundation for everything that came after.
I like using an analogy sometimes, helps clients visualize it. Think of a city.
Okay.
You've got XML and JSON. Maybe those are like new types of buildings going up, modern, efficient for specific tasks. And APIs. They're the super fast fiber optic cables connecting things, enabling real-time data flow. Very slick, very fast.
Following you so far.
But EDI. EDI is the city's infrastructure. It's the steel beams in the skyscrapers. It's the plumbing, the roads, the electrical grid. It's the foundation holding the whole thing together.
That's a great analogy.
You can build amazing new things on top, absolutely. New buildings, faster networks. But you can't just rip out the foundation and expect the city to keep functioning. It's too fundamental. It's the backbone.
That really lands the point. And it's true. The amount of global commerce still running on EDI, it's staggering. Truly massive volumes. Think about shipping, manufacturing, finance, retail. Huge mission-critical transactions depend on EDI every single day. Why?
Yeah.
Because it's incredibly robust, it's secure, it's reliable, proven over decades.
You don't mess with the systems running billions of dollars in transactions lately.
You certainly don't. So this whole evolution we're tracing, it's not really about replacing EDI. It's about building a smarter, more comprehensive integration strategy. One that embraces EDI for its strengths, reliability, standardization, security, and combines it intelligently with APIs for speed and flexibility, maybe XML or JSON where they fit. The goal, as we see it at GraceBlood, is to be protocol agnostic. Handle whatever format the partner needs, use the best path for the job.
So it's about having the right tool for the right job and a platform that can manage all those tools effectively.
Precisely. The takeaway is that EDI's core strengths, standardization, reliability, are still absolutely essential, especially for high-volume, critical data flows. Newer tech builds on that, doesn't erase the need for it.
Makes total sense. So building on that, let's look ahead, crystal ball time. What's coming next? What do the next 5-10 years look like for integration?
I think we're heading towards, well, convergence, bringing all these different technologies, all these protocols onto single unified platforms. We talk about IPS integration platform as a service. That's really the key concept here.
Right.
The real power of an IPS platform is its ability to handle almost anything you throw at it. It can take in a classic EDI 810 invoice, right? The standard e-invoice, or it can receive a JSON payload from some modern API. And then, crucially, it can transform that data into whatever format the receiving system needs, all managed in one place.
One central hub to manage all the different connections and translations.
Exactly. And the really exciting part, the innovation that's going to accelerate this, is machine learning, AI.
Ah, okay. Tell me more about how AI fits in.
Well, imagine AI helping with the mapping process. You get a document from a new partner, maybe it's EDI, maybe it's XML, maybe something else entirely. The AI could automatically recognize the data fields. Okay, this looks like an invoice number. This seems to be the total amount, and then suggest the correct mappings to your internal system or to the format another partner needs.
That would speed things up enormously. Onboarding is often a major bottleneck.
Hugely. And we're already seeing the beginnings of this in newer tools. Capabilities like that are making onboarding faster, less painful, less resource hungry.
Reducing that time from weeks down to days, maybe even hours in some cases.
That's the goal. It's kind of bringing us full circle back to that original dream of simple integration that XML promised but couldn't quite deliver on its own.
Right.
But it's not happening because one format won. It's happening because we're building smarter infrastructure that can intelligently handle all the formats, managing the complexity behind the curtain.
So the platform becomes the universal translator, powered by intelligence.
Precisely. It's not just mapping data anymore. The future is about intelligent orchestration. Could potentially predict errors before they happen, optimize how data is routed, maybe even suggest process improvements based on the flow of information. And it becomes absolutely critical for managing security across all these different connection types, ensuring integrity, compliance. It's a big job. So if we pull it all together, looking back at the last decade, looking forward, the big takeaway, EDI is absolutely here to stay. It's fundamental infrastructure.
Foundational, like the city grid.
Exactly. The conversation has moved on. It's not EDI versus XML anymore. It's not EDI versus APIs. The real question now is, how do we strategically use all these tools together? How do we build an integration strategy that's robust, flexible enough for new demands, and scalable for growth? Answering that question, that's true innovation in this space, mastering the complexity.
That really ties it all together beautifully. It's not about picking winners. It's about intelligent integration across the board. Thanks. That perspective is incredibly valuable. Really appreciate you breaking down those strategic layers for us.
My pleasure. It's always good to connect the high-level trends with what's actually happening on the ground, what challenges people are facing every day. It's definitely a fascinating time to be in this field.
Couldn't agree more. And thanks again to everyone listening to EDI on the Street. Join us next time as we continue to explore the ever-evolving world of business integration.
Maybe it's never this way, we indigenous, maybe we winning this crazy. Your opportunity, your opportunity.